This right here is the BMW iX. It's BMW's flagship electric SUV, and it sells for 6.2 million pesos. Now, if you can't afford a vehicle like this, you probably don't have concerns about fuel prices like the rest of us do. But there are a lot more perks to owning a vehicle like this, aside from fuel economy and saving the environment. And we're going to talk about those perks in this video. So, is it worth your money? Let's find out. Try that again. Holy shit! Oh my god! The hype of electric cars has been around for a while. Even back in the 90s, they were in popular science magazines, car magazines. It seemed then that they were just on the horizon. But as time passed by, they seemed further and further away. It's not until just recently that they became mainstream in other countries, thanks to companies like Tesla, which gave electric cars that necessary cool factor. Here in the Philippines, they're not quite mainstream yet, but it feels like it's within grasp more than ever. The BMW iX, even though it looks like it, is not a concept car. It is a car that you can buy right now. And it's among a growing lineup of electric cars that will enter our market very soon. The look of the car is divisive, to say the least. I had my reservations about the grille when I first saw it in photos. However, I've driven a lot of cars and very few got as much attention as this. It has so much presence on the road that if you drive around in one of these, you're automatically a rock star. I can nitpick individual elements like the grille, but overall, I think the car looks stunning. It looks like a concept car. Now, that controversial grille is not actually a grille. BMW calls that its intelligence panel, and it's also self-healing, so if you scratch it, it'll automatically repair itself, which we're gonna test right now. I'm kidding. Over here you get these thin adaptive LED headlights. The BMW IX Xdrive40 comes with 20-inch wheels wrapped in Bridgestone 255/50 series tires. Now, grip is very good, as I never got any wheel spin, despite the vehicle packing a lot of power. Now, that's partly due to the all-wheel drive system, but also partly due to the wide tires. The BMW iX is about as long and as wide as the X5, and it's about as tall as the X6. The iX looks very smooth. You don't get a lot of character lines, you don't get a lot of sharp angles. Nothing much sticks out. As you can see, the door handles are electronic. Now, BMW calls this shy technology, and it's their own flavor of minimalism. So a lot of stuff are hidden until you actually need them. And that's how you open the door. And as you can see, the iX gets pillarless windows like a coupe. And also, this has soft closed doors. This very minimalist design also helps improve the vehicle's aerodynamics. This has a drag coefficient of 0.25, which is one of the best in this segment. By the way, one consequence of this shy technology is that you can't open the hood. BMW thinks that most people don't need to see what's underneath anyway. As a gearhead, I beg to differ. But you can open the BMW logo, and that's where you put the washer fluid. Okay, so over here, I think, is the best angle of the car. It gets these very thin LED tail lamps. You get these blue accents down here, again, to signify that you're driving a green car. Yeah, this gets a power liftgate, as you'd expect. And you can open it using your foot. There you go. Okay, let's try that again. I think you have to be on that side to open it. Now upon opening the liftgate, you can see that the taillights are attached to the liftgate itself. But when you open the liftgate, you also have lights over here. So if you open this by the side of the road, oncoming traffic will still be able to see you because of these lights. You get this much cargo space, which looks big enough to fit a couple of large luggage bags. It's not as big as other crossovers of the same size, but then again, this is an electric vehicle, so you have to take into account that this has batteries underneath the flooring. If you have the doors or the tailgate open, you'll notice that the inside is made of carbon fiber. Much of the vehicle's frame is made of carbon fiber reinforced plastic, which improves rigidity and also makes the car lighter. The BMW iX comes with 2 charging ports, which you can access through this panel over here. So you have one AC outlet, which is what you will use if you charge this at home or if you charge at SM North. The BMW IX X40 comes with a 72 kilowatt-hour battery, which is good for under 400 kilometers of range. The X50, which I'm not sure if we'll get in the Philippines, will come with a bigger 105 kilowatt-hour battery, which should be good for over 500 kilometers of range. The BMW X40 has 2 electric motors powering all 4 wheels. They produce 326 horsepower and 630 Newton meters of torque. The AC outlet has a Type 2 charge port. You use the outlet when charging at home or at SM North. By the way, charging at SM North is free, so this is the closest thing to free transportation that you can get right now. I mean, after the cost of the car. During the almost 1 week that I had the car, I never had to spend on fuel or charging. I just went to SM North, parked the car there, went to the gym, and by the time I was back, I had a freshly charged car. You can also charge the car at home by plugging it to a wall outlet. Using a 240 volt outlet at home, charge time is 12 hours from 0 to 100%. Now as for the cost, the car has a 72 kilowatt-hour battery. Multiply that to 9 pesos per kilowatt hour, and you get under 700 pesos for a full charge, which is not bad for 320 kilometers of range. If you are in a hurry, the car has a CCS DC outlet, which is compatible with Shell and Unioil's quick charging stations. They can charge the car from 0 to 80% in 30 minutes. After 80%, it trickle charges to protect the battery. Quick charging is not free though. Shell charges 65 pesos per minute, which adds up to almost 2,000 pesos for a full charge. Now, I've been in a lot of cars, so my standard for being impressed is quite high. And I still think this interior looks sensational. It looks modern, but it still retains a lot of traditional elements. You'll see BMW's shy design language all over the interior. For example, you don't see any physical mechanisms for opening the door. You don't have a door latch over here. To open the door, you have to press this electronic button over here. Now you might wonder what happens if the battery gets drained. How do you get out of the car? There's actually a physical override down here. The physical override is hidden way down here. It's not very ergonomic to use, so you'll be forced to use that one. Also, you get a Harman Kardon sound system, but only 2 speakers are visible, one over here and one over there. What you don't see are the speakers hidden underneath the seats. So you have speakers over here, speakers on the headrests, as well as on the back seats. And I'm not an audiophile, but I think the audio quality is very good. Now, one consequence of BMW's shy design language is that you don't get a lot of physical knobs or buttons. To operate the climate control, you'll have to go through the screen. That. Which could be an inconvenience, but BMW's voice recognition software is pretty good. So I can just say, hey BMW, set the temperature to 22 degrees.
I will set the temperature to 22 degrees Celsius for the driver.
Hey BMW, please lower the fan speed.
I will reduce the blower output for the driver.
So it's very intuitive. You don't really have to memorize commands. It understands basic English. Like one time I couldn't figure out how to turn off the lights, so I just told the car to turn the lights off for me, and it did exactly that. I still would have preferred having physical knobs and buttons, but I see why they did away with those here. I mean, having more buttons here would have ruined the aesthetic of the dashboard. By the way, the interior manages to look minimalist while still maintaining enough detail so that it doesn't look plain. For example, you get this crystal knob over here for controlling your iDrive, which is a bit bling bling. You get these brushed aluminum accents over here, also over here. You get these nicely kilted leather seats. By the way, both front seats are power adjustable, but you won't find the controls over here like on other BMWs. Instead, they're over there. Now, this is the first BMW that I've seen where the controls are on the door sidings, which is where Mercedes usually puts it. So quite a departure for BMW. The steering wheel has this odd hexagonal shape. Of course, it's leather wrapped, and you get 2 spokes. Now, in terms of ergonomics, I think it's actually quite good. You have notches on the 10 and 2 o'clock positions, which is where I usually put my hands. The steering wheel tilts and telescopes, and the adjustments are purely electric. To start the car, you press the start button over here, and it does that. You don't hear a starter motor, you don't hear the engine revving. It's like turning on a gadget. So your shifter is over here. To put it in reverse, just push it forward. To put it in drive, push down. You also have a B mode. Now, if you put it in B mode, you can basically drive the car with just one pedal. Once you let go of the gas pedal, it automatically applies regenerative braking. So you don't even have to step on the brakes unless you really have to stop abruptly. Now, that's something that you might have to get used to if you're not used to driving EVs. But if you put it in drive mode, it's like driving any other car. The centerpiece in this interior is this curved screen over here. It's actually 2 screens. To your right is a 12-inch infotainment screen, and to your left is this 12-inch instrument cluster. Now, this screen is the nicest that I've seen on any car. Not only is it big, the pixel density is also very good. Even if you zoom in, you don't see any pixels on it, as you can see. It's also very responsive. It comes with built-in navigation, which should come in handy if, let's say, you left your phone at home or you don't have signal. It's also pretty good. One of the best that I've used. You also get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and you get a wireless phone charger over here. You get 2 USB ports over here, and both of them are USB-C ports. You don't get any standard USB-A ports anywhere in the car. In terms of materials, everything is covered in high quality materials. The dashboard is covered in leather, the door sidings. Plus you have this mesh-like material over here, which is padded. Underneath the armrest you have quite a lot of storage. I can fit my camera and still have plenty of space for other stuff. The glove box is quite big. You don't get a center tunnel down here, so you have empty space over here. Your cup holders are way down here, which I don't think is the best place to put them as far as ergonomics are concerned. But yeah, it does help in maintaining the clean look of the car. Here's the bag. It's pretty spacious. You get plenty of legroom. Headroom, I have about 5 inches. You get 2 climate zones over here, 2 air vents. You get 2 USB-C ports behind each seat. This over here is a provision for attaching an iPad. You get a foldable armrest with 2 cup holders. By the way, there is absolutely no center tunnel, so wherever you sit in this car, you'd be quite comfortable. The obvious perk of driving an electric car is that you're not affected by fuel prices, and EV cars are a lot more economical to drive. Another advantage to owning an electric car, which people may not know about, is that here in the Philippines, EV cars are exempt from the number coding scheme. Now, if you're considering a car like this, you probably have coding cars already, but it might still be a hassle having to swap cars in the garage. Another perk is that you get a lot of attention. Every time I charged the car, people looked at it and they asked me questions. The looks and the badge of the car alone are enough to attract attention. The fact that it's an EV makes it an instant conversation starter. EVs also balance economy and fun much better than any internal combustion vehicle. Economical internal combustion vehicles tend to be slow, and fast internal combustion vehicles tend to not be economical. You don't have that problem with the IX. Try that again. Holy shit! Oh my god! We're not even in sport mode! Oh. The BMW iX covers both extreme ends of the driving experience spectrum. On one extreme end, it is very comfortable, it is very quiet. It's one of the most comfortable, most quiet cars that I've ever driven. On the other extreme end, this car has 640 Newton meters of torque. So if you just lightly tap the gas pedal right now, you get something like that, which never gets old. Holy shit. Okay, that was just 60 kph. You don't have to go fast to have fun in this car. You can just do 20 to 60 runs and you'd scare everyone in the car. Like I said, 640 Newton meters of torque, and you feel that torque right away. If I were to describe that, I would liken it to being rear-ended by a bus, only a lot more fun. Now, all electric cars tend to be very quiet, and the BMW iX is the same. Even more quiet because of the excellent noise insulation. But you do get this very subtle sound which increases when you step on the gas, like that. It's this ambient noise which makes you feel like you're in a sci-fi movie. By the way, that ambient sound is courtesy of award-winning film score composer Hans Zimmer, responsible for the tracks behind Interstellar and Pirates of the Caribbean. Now that's attention to detail. I just hope that we don't get copyright strikes in the future when we do acceleration runs. The iX comes with driver assist and active safety tech like lane departure warning, forward collision warning, blind spot monitoring. It doesn't have adaptive cruise control though, and it doesn't come with a 360 camera. It does come with a high resolution reverse camera, and you get sensors all around the car. The sensors are mapped to the surround sound system, so you can tell where the obstacles are just by listening to the beeps. Like the 520i that we reviewed, this also has park assist. But unlike the 520i, this can also park forward. Okay, so I'm not doing anything. Oh god, nakatakot. The BMW IX Xdrive40 sells for 6.2 million pesos. Now that may seem a lot compared to regular cars, but this is a BMW. It's a luxury car, and it's also an electric car. Considering that electric cars from non-luxury brands sell for 3 to 4 million pesos, and the diesel BMW X5 sells for almost 8 million, 6.2 million pesos for a flagship electric BMW is actually not bad. But is it the right car for you? It has a range of approximately 360 kilometers, which is going to be good enough for a week of city driving for most people. But you can't just go to any gas station and refill quickly. So a second car might be helpful to have. But then again, if you're considering a car like this, you probably have a second or even a third car already. If it's going to be your only car, it might require a bit of a lifestyle change. You'd have to plan your routes, when to charge, etc. But if that's a compromise that you're willing to make, the BMW iX will reward you in so many ways. As a car enthusiast, I do love the sound of high-revving, fossil fuel burning engines. But I've driven a couple of electric and PHEV cars, and I now see their appeal. They're not the boring, soulless machines that we imagined them to be a couple of years ago. Driving the IX, I felt like I was whisked away into a distant future where the air is clean, global warming is a thing of the past, and I can do 0 to 100 runs in 5 seconds or less. Now that's not a bad place to be.